You are now watching The Investment Cup. My name is Jolie, CEO of Sapphire Investment Group and Associates. I have the pleasure and the honor of sitting with someone who I met just about 4 weeks ago, so we're going to call that a month. And when I met her, we clicked immediately because we're Louisiana girls. Although I haven't lived in Louisiana for a very long time, we still clicked, and that was just one thing that brought us together. But I think one of the most important things is just finding out more about her and her entrepreneurial spirit. If there's ever a person that you want to talk to and just sit with for just a little bit, her name is Stephanie Anderson. So everybody welcome Stephanie Anderson.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Julie.
for coming.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. You're so wonderful.
Oh,
I have the same sentiments about you. I would immediately connect it to you at the networking event. And it's always nice to meet, warm, friendly women from back home. So it's definitely a pleasure. I appreciate the invitation.
Definitely. Well, I remember when we were at the event, you were just speaking about your business. So how long have you been an entrepreneur for?
Well, I started in 1999, right after during graduate school, actually.
Wow.
And so what I started doing at that time was working with entertainers on radio, on-air personalities, and branding their messaging with their merchandising and that kind of thing. It's something that wasn't really going on at the time. I worked with a station in Louisiana,
wow,
right out of, I went to LeTourneau University in Longview, Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay. And about what age were you?
I was a young girl. I was in my 20s.
In your 20s.
Yeah.
See, that just goes to show you can be a young and successful entrepreneur.
That's right. That's right. I actually started working when I was 12. I lied about my age to begin working. I did. You could recommend it to children nowadays, but they won't follow it. But yeah, I absolutely did. I came from a very low-income family. My mom worked full-time, very hard every day.
Yeah.
And I just felt the need to try to help out at home. So I went to work at the age of 12. I worked after school in summers. Wow. I worked 2 jobs once I got of age to work, actually. So that's where my entrepreneurship actually began there, I think.
Okay, so you felt that feeling of making money at such a young age. You're like, wow, is it really this simple?
I felt that feeling of I do not want to be working for anybody else. I felt that at a very young age because I realized that if I was adding the value to these people at the age that I was, how much value was I adding? And wouldn't I be better suited at adding that same value for myself and my family? So I took all the information and experiences that I could from them, and I took it and learned to grow and, gained more experience in the different fields and eventually stepped out on my own. And so I haven't worked for anyone except myself since 1999.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you do.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I'm a business consultant. Mm-hmm. I work with professional athletes, middle-income individuals who have a small business but who don't necessarily have all of the tools or resources in place to manage that business as well as they could. Mm-hmm. And so what I do is I reach out to them through training, through helping them to vet different professionals that they bring into their business. Mm-hmm. We develop their business plans. Even a lot of existing organizations don't have an operating plan. And so we sit back down and sort of backtrack things.
You have to have a plan.
Absolutely. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. So.
Mm-hmm. And people also call you the money lady.
They do call me the money lady. I've worked with the SBA since 2004 or 5. Mm-hmm. I help individuals get SBA loans that are 504 loans or 7A loans. The SBA, of course, is the Small Business Administration. Mm-hmm. And we work with economic development corporations in different cities to get that funding. And so for my for-profit companies, I usually go that route, and then I also do grants for nonprofits because, of course, that's where I started.
That is awesome. So for-profit and nonprofit. And Again, we are speaking with Stephanie Anderson. She is a sponsor of Sapphire Investment Group and Associates. So if I ever speak with you, she will be the person that I will be directing you to if you need money. She's our hookup. Yeah, so I also wanted to ask you, because you've been an entrepreneur since 1999, how have you seen that you've added value just to just your husband's perspective of you? You have a beautiful daughter, so model-like, and so intelligent when I met her. How have you really added value to their life by owning your own business?
Well, I think that one of the main things that I've been able to give to my daughter is a parent that's able to be present and available.
Wow.
And, you know, she's blessed to have a very wonderful and active father who financially provides for her very well. But at the same time, if you don't have that balance, if you don't have someone there day in and day out, showing you the way, not just telling you the way, but showing you the way.
Yeah.
And so I try to take my daughter with me wherever I go. I've always done that, even when she was a child. I would take her to meetings, and it has just developed her sense of confidence and her own skills. And so I remember as a young girl, she would start her own businesses. As far as my partner is concerned, we've always worked hand in hand in terms of running his businesses since he left the NFL. He's a very smart individual, decided to go back to Alabama to finish the degree that he had started several years before. And I'm very proud of him for that. But he has a very good head for business, and so I'm more of a right-hand man in a support system for him.
Awesome. We're going to have to just have a whole nother show about husbands and wives being that support. I know that that's something that I'm still learning. You have so many years on me, so we'll definitely have to have another conversation about that.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to meet your husband as well.
Absolutely.
I wanted to speak with you. You know, one thing I was sharing with my husband is that President Barack Obama actually had a meeting with entrepreneurs in the nation because he understands the value of what it means to own your own business and employ people in America. And one of the guys that I follow is Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
I was just in LA recently.
It's a great role model.
Yes, I watched this documentary on Netflix, and I was just in LA visiting my sister, and I got to see his shopping area. And then they actually showed that on the documentary. So in seeing that, you actually see how where he has his shopping area is in a place that is not as wealthy. Yeah. But he wanted to bring in some of the stores that weren't accessible to these people.
That's right.
When I, was able to ride through, I was just so happy to see such an individual giving back in such a way. Yeah. And I really admire the president for sitting with entrepreneurs and saying, how can we change the nation?
Absolutely.
So what I wanted to ask you is, if there were businesses that you think that our economy needs to stimulate the economy, what businesses are those?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, let me just comment on Magic Johnson. Mm-hmm. I lived in Los Angeles when he was beginning some of the real business developments there with the Starbucks partnership and others. And he brought them into an area that was just on the cuffs of being maybe a lower middle class area. But that area has really boomed economically since he's brought that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then he's also in the West La Cienega area as well.
Okay.
So he's done tremendous things for our community. And I think that is that's one of the things that we have to look to for our economy. It's we have a lot of different resources and a lot of different opportunities in America. Yeah. Of course, we have our STEM and our energy, and all of those are very prominent up-and-coming fields that if we encourage our children to start to look into. My daughter, as you know, is studying mechanical engineering at Embry-Riddle. It will help to stimulate the growth of economy. Because if we look at what's happening just in China and other countries that before were below us in terms of wages, it's been a tremendous turnaround.
Yes.
But then we also have to do a better job of reaching out to our small businesses. What is happening is that we have started to equate a business owner with a large corporation, and that's not the case. Most of our businesses, most of the business employers in this country are small business, and that's defined very loosely in this country, but in the $250 to $1 million range. Mm-hmm. So what we have to do is a better job of reaching out and supporting those businesses. We have not done a very good job of the oligopoly practices that we've allowed to continue in this country. Mm-hmm. We've allowed certain industries to create monopolies that are not fair. Yeah. And so some of these practices are against a small business owner. And we have to recognize that 98% of our businesses are small businesses. Mm-hmm. It's called the Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 for a reason. Mm-hmm. There are only about 500 to 1,000 corporations that meet that status. Mm-hmm. And then our tax structure needs to change. Yeah. And I think that President Obama, while his interest has been in trying to create more opportunities in the middle class and with small businesses, mm-hmm. for whatever reasons it has not happened. Yeah. And so one of the things that he could do immediately would be to go back and to reform our tax code. Mm-hmm. For instance, we have a lot of small businesses who provide their own health insurance. Mm-hmm. We should make that health insurance 100% deductible from their first page of their 1040. So we're not paying taxes on health care in this country, period. Mm-hmm. And there are other things like that we can do.
That is an awesome answer. Which leads me to another point that I'd like to make. When we met, we talked about your political views and how you are actually running for Congress.
I am.
Let's talk about that a little more. How do you go from wanting to own your own business, helping to provide for the household, to wanting to be in Washington, D.C., knowing what they go through, but wanting to have a voice there?
It's a leap, but the people that I work with want to have a voice there. Mm. The people that I see every day, they want to have a voice there. The people in my family, we want to have a voice there. Mm. And we have nobody representing that voice.
Wow.
And so that's the reason why I'm running. We need someone who remembers that we're not politicians, we're public servants. We've been put here to serve. We've been put here in the U.S. House of Representatives to represent the interests of the common man, and no one's doing that. And so one of the things that I always recognize as a child is if you see something that angers you, that's not going right, there's no point in fussing about it if you're not going to fight to change it.
All right now. Thank you, Stephanie. Well, you have heard it here first on the Investment Cut. I'm sitting with hopefully one of our future Congresswomen, Stephanie Anderson. You've heard about her family. You've heard about what she did when she was 12 years old to what she did when she was in college to what she's doing now. She's lived in so many places, and her heart is to give back. So again, you're able to see someone that I'm working with, and I really hope that you look at the different links that we have on the page. There's surveys under the entrepreneurship portion. There's surveys under the real estate portion and the stock market. Again, my mission is to help you enhance your financial lifestyle. Again, you can reach me, Jolise, CEO, Sapphire Investment Group and Associates. Thank you again, Stephanie. And we will be doing this again. And this time we'll be talking about marriages.